Good evening, Maplewood. I'm Ryan, and we're reporting for Crim Justice News.
And I'm Alethea. Tonight we lead a special report on the escalating safety concerns at Maplewood Park. Residents report a surge in drug activity and strangers loitering in the heart of our community.
With police resources stretched thin, we're looking at community-led responses using the CAPRA model.
We now go to our field reporters on location. Let's hear from the people living through this crisis.
Good evening. We're here at Maplewood Park, where residents have raised concerns about suspected drug activity and safety. I'm joined by local teenagers who spend time here often after school. Thanks for speaking with us, guys. What can you tell us about you and the others that come to visit this park?
Yeah, I mean, there's not really anywhere else to go after school. Most of us just come here and just hang out. Some of us don't want to go home. Parks don't ask questions or, have anyone here that expects anything.
Okay, so some residents say they've seen suspicious activity and even possible drug dealing. Have you noticed anything like that?
I've seen some stuff, yeah. A lot of us are just hanging out. We have nothing else to do.
Do you feel safe being here?
I mean, it's neutral ground. No teachers, no parents, no one telling you that you're doing something wrong every 5 seconds.
And why do you think some teens might get involved in that kind of activity?
Probably money or just having nothing else to do. I mean, if you're bored all the time and people are doing it, might as well join them. It's easy to get pulled in. Plus, people don't want to go home.
If there were more programs or activities available, do you think that would make a difference?
Yeah, for sure. If there were sports, clubs, or even just a place to go inside, I think a lot of people wouldn't be here as much or wouldn't get involved in all of the bad stuff that happens too.
Do you think people your age would be willing to make better choices if these options existed?
I mean, yeah. If there's somewhere to go, you can actually go inside to get out of the rain or the cold, and somewhere that didn't feel like a cage or you're going to get lectured all the time.
And do you want things to change?
Yeah, not everyone wants to be involved in that kind of thing. A lot of us just want something better to do.
But if the opportunity was there, real support, something more consistent, would you take that?
Yeah, I would take that.
As long as it's real and not just some system that gives up on you halfway.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing your perspectives. It's clear that safety is kind of a big concern, but there's also some deeper issues that are kind of affecting you guys in the community. So thank you so much for your time.
I used to love Maplewood Park. Families, kids playing, teenagers just hanging out after school. It felt safe. People in the neighborhood have been noticing odd things lately. Strangers hanging around, what looks like drug dealing, even a few violent incidences. It's not just rumors anymore. It's real, and it's happening where kids go every day. That's the part that worries us the most. Children and teens still use that park after school. Parents are worried. I've talked to a few families who don't let their kids go alone anymore. There's this constant fear, this anxiety, that something bad could happen. Who knows when wrong place, wrong time could be? And honestly, it feels like nothing's being done. We've reported it, we've called, but the police say they don't have enough resources to monitor the area properly. So from our perspective, it just feels like nothing is being done and we're suffering because of it. People in the community are talking about starting a neighborhood watch. We just want to feel safe again. Because right now, Maplewood Park isn't just a park. It's a place that people fear, and that affects all of us.
Good evening. We're here today speaking with local resident and parent about growing concerns surrounding Maplewood Park. Thank you for joining us. Can you tell us what you've been noticing in the area?
Sure. Over the last few months, other parents as well as myself have noticed a significant increase in the suspicious activity in and around the park. Many residents, including myself, are concerned that this may be related to the rumored drug activity.
As a parent, how has the situation affected you and your family?
As a parent, it's been very concerning. The park is supposed to be a safe place where children can play and spend time after school, but I found myself hesitating to let my children go there. That's not something I really had to think about before, and it shows just how much the situation has changed.
Have others in the community expressed similar concerns?
Oh, definitely. Many residents have expressed that how they are starting to feel unsafe. They have been complaining about loitering as well as noise, which has created a sense that the park is no longer a safe and welcoming place.
What would you like to see done to address this issue?
I think an increased police presence would be an important first step, as I believe they just aren't doing enough. Unfortunately, some individuals involved may not have access to support or positive alternatives, so investing in youth programs and community services could make a real difference.
Is the community taking any action on its own?
Yes, there have been discussions about forming a neighborhood watch and working more closely with our local services. There have been many people who care about this community and want to be part of the solution, but we need support and coordination to make these efforts effective.
All right, and for our final question, what message would you like to leave with local authorities and the viewers?
Our community deserves to feel safe, and as a parent, I want to be confident that my children can enjoy spaces like the park without concern. And with the right actions and support, I believe we could create a direction to restore it.
All right, thank you for sharing your thoughts and solutions for bettering the community of Maplewood.
We don't believe in outsiders. The world is facing a global mental health crisis. Help us build a future where no one is left behind.
I get angry just thinking about it makes me mad. Little kids doing drugs, it turns my stomach. That stuff hurts. It stops you from living up to your potential. It holds you back. It hurts the user. It hurts his family. And it hurts his friends. I just want to shake some sense into you kids that are using drugs and thinking about using it. So remember, don't, or else. Okay?
We now go to Youth Program Officiant Doug Campbell. Thanks for joining us tonight.
It's a pleasure to be here.
As a local youth program staff member, are you aware of the situations developing in Maplewood parks?
It has been raised to my attention by several parents and community members.
Can you tell us the thoughts on these matters?
I've been doing lots of thinking about what is going on, and there are many factors that are contributing, but my main focus is what I can do to help these youth.
In your position, what can you do to solve these issues?
My job is to run, manage, and maintain youth programs and activities, as well as ensure that kids and parents know what is available to them. A big part in how I can help to make sure these kids get the access and awareness for the necessary programs. I can gather feedback from the youth and parents and implement whatever is missing.
Earlier today, we spoke to some local teenagers who hang out at the park. They felt that there are not many things for them to do in the city. What programs are available that they might not know about?
While there are many programs available for youth in around Maplewood, there are many after-school activities to do, such as rec sports for all ages and music lessons. A big service provider is the YMCA. It offers a wide variety of programs and youth of all ages, including cooking classes, gymnastics, sports like baseball, swimming, judo, and badminton. The YMCA has an after-school program for kids aged 4 to 12. It is a great space to interact with the other kids your age in a supporting and welcoming environment.
Money can be a big issue for some families. Are there any free or budget-friendly activities and programs available for them?
I agree money is a major factor when it comes to the kinds of programs. Some services like the YMCA have financial assistance that can allow you to get a membership for a portion of the price if you cannot afford it. There are several free options as well. They can use the teen center, that is a drop-in place for youth to hang out and play in group activities. In the summer, there are beach volleyball games for teens and adults.
In your professional opinion, what programs would you add to Maplewood?
In an ideal world, all the youth programs would be free to use, and there would be more rec centers and teen clubs to provide more safe and fun places for kids to hang out.
Thank you for joining us on Crim Justice News.
We go now to Sergeant Watt, who's going to offer his law enforcement insight into the matter.
Yeah, so thanks for having me on the show, Ryan, and I'm hoping I'll be able to tell our residents what to expect.
Sergeant Watt, how do you think the drugs have affected the city of Maplewood and its residents?
Well, obviously, drugs have taken a very awful effect on our community. Like you see, our residents, they feel like this is becoming an unsafe place, and to be honest, I can't blame them. This is almost becoming very unsafe. The people that are on the drugs, they sometimes tend to be very unpredictable at times in their behavior. But not only that, once they're done using the drugs, they sometimes just leave the needles around in public areas, and that can be very unfortunate for any children that may end up accidentally finding them while playing.
What programs does Maplewood have in the community for people suffering with drug addiction problems?
Yeah, so we have a few. Like, we have the True North Maplewood Addiction Treatment Center, as well as the Canadian Health Association for the Maplewood district. They also are an addiction treatment center, but also our local hospital has an addiction treatment center as well.
What programs doesn't Maplewood have that could be helpful for the community?
Well, currently Maplewood right now has no residential addiction programs. So what that means is that sure, we have programs to help people, but we don't have places for people to stay while doing these programs. So who's to say that once someone's done a program for a day, they may just go out into the street and start all over again. But we're also really understaffed for people that can handle a high medical withdrawal as well. If someone was to have a withdrawal from drugs, we need more people that could handle that. And recently we've seen a rise in youth being drug addicts as well. So we would want more programs designed for youth that are addicted to drugs.
How does the drug addiction affect the police?
First off, it's very time consuming to always have to deal with these calls, and it takes a lot of patience and resources too to be dealing with this every day. But also, every call is a risk. Like, it's not just like the officer could be getting hurt by a needle prick or the person being violent, but it can also be a risk for the person themselves. If the officer may have to use force, the person could get injured. And we don't want to give off the impression that we're going to hurt people in need. We want to make it look like we're here to help everyone. And another thing too that hasn't talked about enough is we see a lot of officers, they take this into their personal lives. Seeing this happen every day can have a very bad effect for one's mental health. And that's something that officers need to learn, is that sometimes you can't always help everyone, and leaving stuff at work, it can be very hard to do when this is always happening at your work life.
Sergeant Watt, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time.
Yep. Thanks for having me on and letting me speak to the community about what's going on. So yeah, this is like a pretty heavily area, like populated with drug users, and we get a few calls every day. And like, look at this guy up here. You see, this is a well example. Here, I'm gonna check out what he's doing. Hey, buddy. Keeping out of trouble? Good talk. So yeah, another thing too is that, like, with these drug addicts, they can tend to be also very violent as well. So yeah, like, that's something that we also got. Really? Are they fighting over there? You have got to be kidding me. One moment. Hey!
We're joined now by Dr. Daniel Lecter, a mental health professional working closely on the Maplewood Park case. Dr. Lecter, the community is seeing drug activity and violence happening in places where children should be able to relax and play. From your perspective, what is the impact on this neighborhood?
Thanks, Alethea. When we take a look at the situation, we can see more than just crime. We're seeing a cycle of trauma. For residents like Maggie and Sierra, there's actually still trauma happening. The constant anxiety of feeling unsafe in your own backyard. For the youth involved, we often find that substance use is a coping mechanism for a lack of support and engagement. Our response plan moves away from just enforcement. Short term, we're proposing some restorative circles for the community. This allows victims and youth to speak face-to-face. It's going to help create more meaningful accountability rather than just the punishment they would normally receive. Long-term, we're advocating for trauma-informed counseling programs. If we don't address the root causes of these emotional distress and lack of recreational outlets, the activity will just return to these parks. So I'm actually part of a group from the Maplewood board looking to form a Maplewood task force. It's going to be a formal partnership between social services, the YMCA, and the local law enforcement. Our response is going to be two-sided. We're launching the restorative circles immediately to heal community tension. And the school board and YMCA are going to work on co-funding a late night program. This is going to be at the park, and it's going to help reclaim the space through positive energies. Our assessment is going to be quite rigorous. We aren't looking at just arrest records. We're going to be tracking a safety index through the community feedback surveys. We're going to be monitoring a 15% target increase in youth program enrollment. And we're going to be reviewing police dispatch data quarterly to make sure that the loitering complaints at Maplewood Park are actually trending downward and not just moving to another park across town.
Thank you for joining us for this news broadcast today. We'll return tomorrow for continuing coverage on this matter.
Good evening, Maplewood.
Escalating safety could.
Have been noticing
Pause.
odd things lately.
Good evening, we're here today.
Are you recording us?
Yeah? We go now to Sergeant Watt, who is going to offer some perspective. No.